Hello, welcome to the Big Three podcast with Adarsh and Adam, where we bring you all things cricket. Today we're going to build up to the IPL, the 2025 edition. Firstly, I think it's interesting to set the tone before we get into this year's IPL. What makes the IPL different to all the other franchise leagues? Because there are a lot of franchise leagues around the world that no one cares about, that are a bit kind of here today, gone tomorrow, superficial, and kind of the cricketing equivalent to RuPaul's Drag Race or something. Why is the IPL able to get an audience and get people interested in the way that other franchise leagues aren't?
I think right from the start of the IPL, all franchises have been connected to a city, and all those cities
Mm,
have been connected to famous players. Like at the start of the IPL, you had players like Sachin Tendulkar and Virender Sehwag, all these kinds of players, and you
mm,
had foreign stars as well. So there was a kind of connection which was inherent right from the start, and if you look at the fan bases of CSK, RCB, and they
mm,
rivaled Real Madrid and Barcelona. I mean,
mm,
absolutely massive fan bases. So I think that is what sets apart the IPL from, say, the BBL, because the
mm,
BBL in its own right is, I think, just on sheer fan following, it might be second or third, because the other
mm,
leagues like the SAR 20 or PSL, in my opinion, are,
mm,
even though they are doing very good financially, they do
mm.
not have as much of jeopardy behind them. I think the
No,
BBL still has people who arrive to the game every year and support their teams. So yeah, on that, I think the IPL just is like bigger than anything in the cricketing spectrum, at least. And
mm,
obviously, like if you speak financially, it's the
mm,
second most financially viable sporting league in the world after the NFL,
mm,
National Football League in
mm.
America. It's ahead even of the English Premier League, I think, in football.
And also because usually when people watch sport, even if a game is boring, they have an interest in it because it's their team. Or so, even if the quality is poor, you're still interested in it. When it's a franchise league, it's more of an entertainment. Yet, you, leagues have to be careful because um, if it's just an entertainment, their league has to be as good as a great film or a great book,
Yep.
or going out with your friends, or going out with your boyfriend or girlfriend, or whatever. Even, I don't know, taking drugs. So it has to be at a good level. Otherwise, why would you bother watching it? So the IPL has done really well in not only being entertaining, but also having the results matter.
Yeah, I mean, there was this game against where Kyle Mayer scored 210. I think
Mm,
internationally, it was West Indies versus Pakistan or Sri Lanka. Who was it in 2021? I think he scored 210 or something.
yeah.
Just trying to quote that,
Was
or
it?
maybe Sri Lanka,
Yeah.
South Africa in 2019. I do not
Yeah.
support either of Sri Lanka or South Africa,
Mm,
but those kinds of games where the cricket is so good that even though you're not supporting either of the teams, you want to get involved. So
mm,
I think that's what the IPL brings in. So starting off, I think we were going to talk about the top 10 moments of the IPL. I'll
mm,
For me, the best moment of the IPL, and this is very, very biased. Sorry for being
mm,
biased here, but 18th May 2024, CSK RCB. I mean, it was absolutely poetic.
mm.
I support RCB for the record. So
Yeah.
we'd lost the first for the first 8 games. We had only won one game, and we had a 1% chance of qualifying for the playoffs. And after
Yeah.
that, RCB won 5 games on the trot, and we had to beat
Mm.
CSK by a margin of 18 runs at the least to qualify for the
Um,
playoffs. And in
yeah.
that game, it just everything turned perfect. And yeah, for me, at the end, when I think Dhoni was batting and Yash Dayal was bowling, and he skied one up, and then they caught, and I think it was Swapnil Singh who caught it. So yeah, that has to be the best moment of the IPL for me. Any moments which strike out for you?
The one I remember most is that final in 2023 with Ravage Asia. I think that's probably the one that sticks in my head, maybe because it's the most interesting of the recent tournaments. I suppose that would the one that would stick out for me.
Yeah, 2023 was good. I mean, it wasn't the uber good IPL final which
No.
you'd expect. Not not in the sense that the quality of the cricket was still very good, but it was not MI CSK or RCB
No,
CSK, the El Clasico of the IPL, if you want to say it. So it
no,
was really
no,
good that, I mean, Shubman Gill in that tournament was on fire. Fire. I think he
yeah,
scored what 835 runs or something, 6 centuries.
yeah,
So absolutely brilliant. Just to name another moment, which I think
yeah,
um, the IPL peaked, 2017
yeah,
IPL final, absolutely like enthralling, nail biting stuff. I
yeah,
couldn't get off my seat. I think
yeah.
who won? Yeah, the MI won by 1 run against RPS. So did you watch that
Mm.
game?
I might have been. This is ages ago now, isn't it?
Yeah,
My memory's addled over the years.
yeah. That was special for me. Just as a final one, if I had to, for the top three moments. So
Mm,
as a final one, I'd say it'd have to be the 2018 IPL 2019 IPL final, sorry, the game which Shane Watson scored a century. I mean, it
no.
looked like CSK were going to lose the game, and then it completely turned around. So yeah, those are my top three moments of the IPL. Are, do you remember any moments from the early years of the IPL which are notable to you?
Well, fun enough, because he's been in the news recently. I remember 100 from Harry Brook. Um, I'm only kind of remembering now because of all the controversy about him pulling out.
Yeah,
It was quite a big 100. Also because the owner was quite good looking, so I kind of remembered it for that reason as well. She was in the stands watching.
yeah,
Um, so I think maybe that's one that springs to mind. Also, last year, I think it was last year, Butler when he chased. I don't
yeah.
know if he got
That
100 in
was
the end or not,
thrilling.
but that was pretty sensational.
Yeah, that is, I think, one of the best knocks ever in the IPL.
Yeah,
Easily, I mean,
that was really good.
he,
And
they,
he
they
was
were
batting with the tail at the end as well,
yeah,
wasn't
they
he?
were eight
I
down
remember
and they
watching that.
needed 48 of
Yeah.
3 overs, and Butler alone took them over the line. So that was very, very special. That is like Dhoni would dream of getting that kind of a finish. So really good.
And it does show that in 2020 you still need skill. It's not all just hitting sixes all the time. You still have to do things like marshal the tail,
Yeah,
and you have a kind of nous about you, not just hitting sixes all the time.
yeah, not necessarily a special moment, but any notable
Mm.
moments for you from the early years of the IPL, 2008, 2009, 10, when it started, when we
Oh, yeah, I remember when it started, and it was really interesting because we wondered how people would be so attached to a side that had just been created. Um, so it was. I remember it opening, and I remember like all the women dancing, the fireworks and things like that. And I think I remember Glenn McGrath. People like Glenn McGrath, Sachin Tendulkar. These guys were like legends coming to the end of their careers, but
yeah.
they were playing in the IPL, and I think that's what stuck out the most. Really, it was those kind of old legends playing there.
Yeah, I mean, it was meant to be kind of an entertainment mixed
Mm,
sport kind of thing. If you see a documentary, I've said this before on this podcast as well,
mm,
Inside Edge, it kind of goes behind the workings of how the IPL started. And Lalit Modi, even if you
mm,
see his interviews, he
yeah,
very clearly wanted to, first of all, he had the concept of cheerleaders from America, and then he just wanted
yeah,
to Americanize cricket. That was his main goal,
yeah,
and he did it very well, I think.
yeah. Because I remember at the time there was the ICL as well, and all these players were getting banned for playing in the ICL. People like Chris Cairns,
Yeah, yeah.
but they managed to get rid of that.
And the funniest thing about the IPL starting was that, amidst all this amount of money, like billions of dollars thrown around,
Mm,
they had to sign. You wouldn't believe this. All of the BCCI officials and Lalit Modi had to sign a document for the
mm.
MCC, meant saying that they're going to maintain the spirit of cricket in the entire tournament. I mean, that is peak
That's
cricket,
kind of
right?
funny. That's amazing. I think England really regretted not trademarking T20 when they started it in 2003, and that's why they tried to bring the 100 in. It's a bit like after the horse had bolted, but they regretted when they saw how successful the IPL was. Oh, we should have trademarked that,
The
but they
amount
didn't.
of money they could have made. I mean,
Yeah, that was a big
okay,
mistake.
so you spoke about Harry Brook. I mean, let's get
Mm,
on to that first before previewing
mm,
the games.
mm.
as always, there's someone from England who withdraws before the start of the IPL. And
Yeah,
in my opinion, last year he had a kind of a valid concern for which he
yeah,
went to play. I mean, a lot of people said that right after going back, he played in York for Yorkshire, I think,
yeah,
right? And
yeah. Yeah, good, yeah.
people were like, "How is he able to play for his
Mm,
county when he's not able to play in the IPL?" I'm okay with him
mm,
playing then because maybe it's closer to England, so it's fine for him. But
yeah.
right now, pulling out of a tournament 15 days before it starts, he deserves to be banned, in my opinion, for 2 years.
Well, the
Like,
thing
he
is that
lost.
it was brought that I they said clearly at the start of the tournament, if you pull out, you get banned. So he knew the rules, so he can't claim ignorance there. Really.
Yeah, and I think too much is being made out of it because Brook is going to get compensated by the ECB pretty well, and the
Yeah,
IPL is going
yeah,
to do well regardless. I mean, a lot of
yeah,
Indian fans and English fans are just going on and
yeah,
on against each other. I don't see the point of it, honestly, at
yeah.
this point.
It's more. It was more that weird article by Ben Gardner and Wisdom.
Yeah,
I
uh,
think that was the one. I think less than the fans, more
that is
kind of the
clickbait
journalists at
journalism.
Wisdom.
That is just clickbait journalism, in my opinion.
Yeah, that was really peculiar. It. I don't know. I suppose if you're paid a certain amount of money, you might be happy to write anything really in a way. But I would be very uncomfortable privatizing my brain to Rob Key or McCollum. If I'd got to the stage where I was a respected journalist, I'd want to write what was kind of true or something credible. Otherwise, it reflects badly on me. And if you're just trotting out, you're like an apologist for the ECB all the time. Then you kind of lose some kind of integrity as a journalist. I think.
Especially Wisden, right? Because my uncle used to
Yeah.
buy Wisden
Oh,
magazines all the time when he was small, and
yeah.
even till I think the 2010s, he used to buy the magazines. But
Yeah.
now he doesn't because he just feels like it's a bit too biased.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, he's right. I used to subscribe to it when I was young. I remember reading it at sixth form, and everyone laughed at me. I should have been going out partying with girls. I was reading bloody Wisdom, and now it's turned into some kind of like ECB press release.
And a lot like after around this as well, there's been a lot of controversy as well around
Mm,
uh, well, the IPL, is it has been stretched to a point where I
mm,
think it conflicts right at the end of the
mm.
schedule of the WTC final is right at the end,
Yeah,
right? The
yeah,
IPL ends and just a week after that the WTC final starts or something.
yeah. And also, I don't know, I don't know what the latest is, but I don't think players will be able to come back. If I don't know how many England players are left in it now. If they've a lot of them pull out all the time, but there's an England test against Zimbabwe before the final of the IPL. And I don't know if someone like I don't know James Bethel got to the final, whether he'd be able to pull out at the semi stage or the final stage and go and play against Zimbabwe, or he wouldn't. I don't know what the situation is there.
I think it stated that all of his salary will be retracted or something for the entire season,
Oh, oh wow.
and he's
So
paid
he'll have to play.
well. Like I think he's got $1 million or something, £1 million. So I don't think he'll
Mm.
sacrifice that for a test against Zimbabwe. I don't know. Yeah,
Yeah, I think you're probably right. But there we go. There's another conflict of another clash there. I mean, remember Dan Weston was talking about extending the IPL.
yeah.
I wonder when that's going to happen.
Yeah, I had. You said that the IPL had more credibility, but I remember when Jared was on with us, he said that a lot of people were not paid their dues, or some people were not paid their dues even in the IPL. So I think it's even the
Mm.
IPL is not clean. There's a documentary, very interesting one on YouTube. You can go and check.
Yeah.
Not the Al Jazeera one, but it's on in 2010. A couple of guys, or not a couple of guys, sting
Mm.
operation was done on a couple of uncapped Delhi Capitals players, and it was found that they were
Mm.
paid using black money. They were not paid using white
Uh,
money, and they were heavily underpaid.
uh,
So
that's
yeah, I mean,
interesting.
yeah, every league has a bit of stain on it. I mean, that's all we can
But
come to.
I suppose the only thing is, if you take any other league, no one can tell you who won the last edition, what the gamers were like. All these franchise leagues, they're just instantly forgettable. But the IPL, people can remember who won the finals. You were talking about your favourite moments there. So I suppose I'd rather the IPL was extended and got rid of some of the other franchise leagues than have the other franchise leagues that don't really matter.
Yeah, I mean, this won't probably sound good, but I support
Mm.
RCB more enthusiastically than India. I'm
Mm.
I'm more attached to RCB at this point. Anyways, so the first game is RCB KKR. I think I'll probably be going to that game. So
Yeah,
uh, let's preview RCB's probable 11. So you have
yeah.
Virat Kohli and Phil Salt opening, and you'll probably have Liam Livingston at number three. You'll
Mm.
have
Mm.
Jacob Bethel, and no, not Jacob Bethel. You'll have Jitesh Sharma, Krunal Pandya, and at number six you'll have Devdutt Padikkal, and then you'll have your four bowlers will be Rasik Salam, Josh Hazelwood, Bhuvneshwar Kumar, and there's one more seamer, Yash Dayal. So a balanced lineup in my opinion, just a bit short on spin, but they're not banking on spin at all on this side.
That's a very side, isn't it?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
it looks good. It looks very strong.
and I forgot Rajat Patidar. I mean, the captain of RCB.
But just because with David as well. Tim David.
I forgot Rajat Patidar. I mean, he's probably the next cog in the Indian lineup after all of these players in the T20 lineup, at least. Very good spin hitter. I rate him above. I rate him near to Heinrich Klaassen at this point, playing against spin. Rajat Patidar, that is. How about you?
And what about in the opposition?
Yeah, I mean, what do you feel about Rajat Patidar's spin game?
Yeah, he's a good player. I mean, wasn't he in Australia this winter?
I don't think so. I think he played against England the second and third test. I think. Oh, no, the first
Oh,
three tests he played against England in the 2024 starting of the year series.
yeah,
Do you remember him? He
that's
played at
right.
number four.
Yeah. I remember him.
He
Um,
didn't look good in that series, but trust me, he is like
yeah,
a proper player in the IPL.
yeah.
How you-
He did. I remember him, but I don't remember if he. I don't think he did much against England
Yeah, didn't do
from
much.
memory.
He was not picked in the test side again. Okay, so
Yes,
KKR's lineup, you've got
yes,
Ajinkya Rahane, who's their captain, and
yeah.
in the batting lineup they've got Gurbaz, they've got Russell, obviously, and in the middle order
Mm,
they've got Manish Pandey, Venkatesh Iyer, Quinton de Kock, and
mm,
Rovman Powell, Rinku Singh as well. So and Ramandeep Singh. So a very powerful
yeah,
starting lineup. And in the bowling lineup, they've got Varun Chakravarti, the world's best spinner.
yeah,
So obviously, like a very good start. Then you've got Umran Malik, very fast.
yeah,
Andrik Nokia,
yeah.
Sunil Nareen. So very good side in my opinion.
Was Spencer Johnson there as well?
Yeah, Spencer Johnson's there as well.
Yes, that's a good lineup.
Yep. I mean,
Yeah,
very
he's a pretty
balanced.
strong squad. Yeah, it's very balanced. Um, yeah, that's a very strong side.
So who are you backing for the first game?
I'm going to back KKR just to annoy you.
Let's see. I mean, I don't want to go to the ground spending
Mm.
100 quid and seeing RCB lose. No, that,
Is that how much it was?
huh?
Is that how much it is?
Yeah, it's just above, I think, 110 pounds or something.
Wow,
And I'm taking like a mid tier ticket. It's not even the highest kind of ticket. So it's,
that's
it's,
amazing, isn't
it's fine because I don't go to games often, but
it?
it's very expensive, and I think on the black market it's going for around 200 300 quid already. So
Wow,
yeah, just
that's amazing.
crazy demand for the game. What's
Who are
the
you going with?
huh?
Who are you going with?
I'm going with. Not sure at this point. I mean, I think I'll go with my friend's elder brother. I don't know. I might go alone.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. Let's see. What's the next game? The second game is SRH versus Rajasthan Royals. So you've got in SRH, you've got obviously you've got Head and Abhishek Sharma, like the best opening
Mm,
duo in the tournament. And then you've got
yeah.
Heinrich Klaassen, Nitish Kumar Reddy, Vian Mulder, Ishan Kishan. Just another very good batting lineup. You've got Shami, Pat Cummins, Rahul Chahar, and
Mm,
who else have you got in the bowling lineup? You've got Adam Zampa. So very good bowling lineup as well.
mm. I mean, Head is Head at the moment is you can't get much better than him, can you? Really,
And
the
Abhishek
the
Sharma
form
as
he's
well.
in.
Like
Yeah.
both
Oh,
of
that's a good sign. The thing is that all the squads look good, don't they?
yeah,
They're all very strong.
yeah. All sports. The IPL is. I think that's that's also something which sets it
Mm,
apart because it has the auction and you've got all teams are
yeah.
nearly the same at the auction, so you've got a competitive playing field at the end.
Yeah, and that's a very strong lineup.
Yeah, and for Rajasthan, you've got opening the batting Nitish Rana and
Yeah,
Yashasvi Jaiswal, and then you've got
yeah.
Shimran Hetmaya, Shubham Dubey, Vaibhav Suryavanshi, the 13-year-old whom we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Dhruv Jurel, Sanju Samson. I forgot
Oh,
Sanju
good.
Samson. Sanju Samson, and then in
Yeah,
the bowling lineup you've got Jofra Archer, Fazalak
yeah.
Faruqi, Quena Mafaka, Tushar Deshpande, Sandeep Sharma, Mahesh Tikshana, very good spinner. Yeah, so not as good as the previous sides in my opinion, but still very good.
No, I fancy SRH to win that one.
Same. SRH to win.
Yeah,
Where's this game? It's in okay. It's in Hyderabad. So yeah, SRH has to. This game has to go for SRH. And last preview for this episode: CSK versus MI, the big clash for
yeah,
Chennai. You've got Ruturaj Gaikwad and Rachin Ravindra opening. You've got
yeah,
people in the middle. Sam Curran probably will be in the middle with Shivam Dubey,
yeah.
Vijay Shankar, Dhoni, and who else have they got in the middle order? They've got Jadeja as well. So and they've got Jamie Overton. Maybe they'll also play Overton at number seven. Who knows?
But why have they got Overton?
I mean, Dhoni is the kind of person who wants to get these kinds of players and then unearth the gems inside them. So maybe he'll do some good for England.
Wow. Well, if he can do that, they've got to. He's like a miracle worker.
Yeah. And then in their bowling lineup, you've got Khalil Ahmed, Matisha Patirana, who's
Mm,
a very funny story about Matisha Patirana.
yeah,
Last IPL, he bowled with a very low action. If you've seen him bowl, he
yeah.
bowled with
I remember him. Yeah,
yep, very low action, and he came under
yeah.
suspicion for not having a legal action. Then when he
Mm.
went on to international cricket, he raised his arm to a 45 degree, near 45, and then as soon as he's come back to the IPL, he's put his hand back to that angle again. Very clever in that sense. I mean, he's saving
Yeah,
himself for CSK.
yeah. That's good. And what do you think? What do you think that CSK see Corrin as more of a batter or a bowler? By the way, what do they see him as?
They see him kind of as a floater. I think
Mm,
just do the Dhoni likes these kinds of players, in my opinion. Just come in at he can
mm,
open, he can come at number seven, he can come at number five,
mm.
he can give you overs at the top with the ball. He
Yes.
can bowl death overs, he can bowl in the middle. So
Yeah.
he's not very good at anything, but he's decent
No.
at everything. So I think he likes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
He's a guy where you think it depends how big the boundary is, basically, because if it's a big boundary, he can get someone caught on the boundary. If it's a small one, it goes for six.
yeah, he's kind of a toned down version of Akshar Patel.
Hmm. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah. Okay, so
Yeah.
for the Mumbai Indians, you've got Rohit Sharma opening with who's he got this year? They left out Ishan Kishan, so he's going to probably open with Will Jacks, and then you've got Ryan Rickelton and Tilak Verma in the middle with Hardik Pandya
Mm.
and Raj Bawa. Surya Kumar Yadav, the world's best batsman in T20 cricket, and then in the bowling lineup they've got Bumrah, and we don't need to hear any other name. Trent Bolt is also there. So Bumrah, Bolt, and Deepak Chahar, like the best
That's pretty
pace
good,
bowling
isn't
lineup in the world, in the league. Sorry.
it? Yeah, yeah, definitely. That just looking at that team, I just wonder about Jax's form because the last 2 years or so, he seems to have kind of gone a bit backwards, and I wonder how he'll do this year. Rickleton seems to be in really good form.
Yeah,
You can always rely on someone like Satner, but I think Jax has kind of gone backwards a bit.
last year he played really well for RCB. I mean, he scored a century in 40 balls
Mm.
for RCB. I don't know. He's not been faring well in the international circuit and otherwise, but in the
No,
IPL, he did really well last year for RCB. So,
but there
yeah,
was a time 2 or 3 years ago where he looked like he could be like a really serious player, and he hasn't maybe kicked on in the way we thought he would in England. But yeah, like you say, he did okay last year in the IPL.
yeah. I mean, uh, with all this, I mean, how many players have come from England for this season of the IPL? Around it must be in the 30s, right? 30s or 40s.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
yeah, must be.
if a situation arises where they want to call players or Rob Key does want to call them, what do you think is going to
Mm.
happen? Are they going to oblige?
What and go back to England or
Yeah, go back to England.
uh, because it's just Zimbabwe. Maybe they'd be allowed to stay.
Uh,
But if it was someone different, maybe they'd have to come back.
yeah, okay, I get that, but suppose Key calls them back. So do you think they're going to stay with the
Mm.
IPL or go back to England?
See, normally I'd say go back to England, just because I remember maybe 6 or 7 years ago, Butler was called back for
He
just like a
was.
training camp or something. Do you remember there was some kind of training camp, and they just called Butler back, even though he was in like a semi-final or something. But since this new law about 2 years, a 2 year suspension, I wonder if that's changed any of the dynamics.
Yeah, and I think Stokes was also called back. I think every time there
Yeah,
was
that's
a
right.
kind of series or World Cup major event, Australians,
Yeah,
English players, and Kiwi players,
yeah.
South African players, everyone went away. I think at the last stages of the
I mean,
IPL. No,
Stokes came back in 23. Stokes went back before the semi-finals. He wasn't even playing there; he was just
yeah,
sitting
I
on the
mean
bench.
he was
But
doing
he
nothing for
went
the
back for an
entire.
Ireland.
Yeah, so
Yeah, he
had
went back for
he,
an Ireland test match.
yeah, didn't Sisanda Magala replace him in the IPL, or was he a
He could
replacement
have
for
done.
someone else? So it turned out really well for CSK, I think, with him going.
Yeah, yeah, because he was just sitting on the bench in his vest drinking Red Bull.
And away from the IPL, there's been news that no Pakistani player has been selected in the 100. And
Yeah,
just to clarify that, um, there's a lot of series going on for Pakistan in that period. So the 100 franchises do not know that whether all the Pakistani players are going to be available or not. And from what I can see, once the squads are out, they may be picked. So it's not to do with the fact that they're Indian owners, because they've got Indian owners in South Africa, they've got Indian owners in the ILT20. Almost every major T20 league except the BBL is Indian owned, and Pakistani players do
yeah.
play in them. So I don't think it's as malicious
People
as
were
people
asking
are
that
making it
question.
out to be.
Yeah, people were asking that question, but it wasn't true. That it's just because I think four of the 100 franchises are owned by Indians, and two of the ones owned by Americans are really kind of Indian anyway. So it's almost all of them, but it's not because they're Pakistani that they weren't picked.
Okay. Also, we were supposed to do the our best IPL 11s, all-time IPL 11s. So I've not prepared anything. I'll just go impromptu. For me, opening the batting, it has to be Chris Gale, David Warner,
Yeah,
and I'm not doing the four overseas players rules because that does not matter here. Chris Gale, David Warner to open the batting, Virat Kohli at number three, AB de Villiers at number four, and you've got Kyron Pollard at number five. You've got, Yeah, at number seven, I'll have Andre Russell. At six, I'll have Dhoni. At eight, I'll have Narain. At nine, Bumrah. 10, Malinga. And at 11, I'll have Chahal.
The only difference is I'd have Butler ahead of Warner, and that would be the only.
Could you speak a bit louder? I mean, you're
Yeah, sorry. The only difference for me is I'd have Butler ahead of Warner.
oh,
That would be the difference for me.
okay. I mean, Butler's been like an all-time IPL legend. He's in
Mm,
contention for being the best IPL player ever. So I
mm.
think that's why I pick him. And he's given me a lot of heartbreak as a IPL, as an RCB fan. Do you remember the 2016 IPL final?
Oh, vaguely. What? I'm trying to think back.
SRH, RCB, David Vaughan. I think Ben Cutting hit us 110 meter, 120-meter six in that game. Like it was tragic for me. Yeah. So Warner has been in part of a lot of memory. So you replace Butler for because Butler's been like really good in the IPL as well.
Yeah, I'd have Butler instead of Warner. That was
Yeah.
the only difference.
Could you speak a bit louder again? I mean,
I'd have Butler instead of Warner myself. That's the only difference from your side.
okay, okay. So we've done the podcast right now. We'll come back next week reviewing all the games that will happen and
Yeah,
reviewing the next week's games by then. So
brilliant.
till then, see you again. Bye.
Bye.